Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Letting Go of Her podcast. Um, I would say Happy New Year, which I'm going to say Happy New Year because by the time this releases, it'll be the new year. But if I'm being quite honest, it has not hit the new year as I am recording this right now. We still have, what is it, 2 days or so? I don't know. It's Monday the 29th today as I am recording this. But one, I didn't remember when I said I would release a new episode. I don't know if I would release it this Friday or next Friday. Um, but either way, I'm gonna record it now because I have a little bit of time right now. So I do really hope that everyone had a great Christmas and is going to have had a good New Year's. Christmas for us was actually very eventful. Usually we don't really do much for Christmas, as in traveling and that kind of stuff. The only thing that we do every year is the day before Christmas Eve, which we call Christmas Adam. We invite people over to our house, usually just like friends, and we eat ribs and apple pie because Eve came from the ribs of Adam, and obviously apple pie because of the apple and the great fall. I don't really know if it's like a thing. I think I saw it one year on Instagram, and I told my husband, I was like, "Hey, let's celebrate Christmas Adam," and he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "I don't know, but it just looks like people eat ribs and apple pie," and so we started doing it just like us, and then we started, throughout the years inviting friends and more friends and more friends. But the tradition is that we come over to, or everyone comes over to our house. We have ribs and apple pie, and then we go and look at Christmas lights. We walk through Candy Cane Lane. We don't do Candy Cane Lane anytime before that. That is the day that we do it. But this year we weren't really sure if we were going to do Christmas Adam because my husband started a new job, and with him finishing school, and we didn't know what time he was going to get off and whatnot and whatever. Either way, though, we pulled it together very last minute. I think the night before, we went to Costco and grabbed some ribs. Like, normally my husband cooks the ribs in the grill, but because he wasn't going to get off work until 4:30, and apparently he had already started telling people about Christmas Adam, um, we lucked out, and Costco had their pre-cooked ribs already out, so we grabbed like 3 slabs of those. And we grabbed, actually no, a friend brought over apple pie, but then that morning of, we had more people who were like, "Hey, yeah, we'll come," and so I had to go back to Costco on Christmas Adam, which by the way was chaos, and I had to grab some more food because we just weren't gonna have enough. But then at the end of the day, we ended up having plenty. But either way, every time we have like friends over at my house, I always get scared because I live in a starter home. Like, I live in a pretty small house. And I've learned to not say small house anymore, because I feel like it's just disrespectful to the work that we have done in order to own our home. So we just live in a starter home. And so every time we have people over, I always get scared. I'm like, where are we all going to fit? But the Lord so graciously always somehow stretches out my house, and somehow we all always fit. I have like a little corner in my living room where I just have like a glass table with I don't know, a few trinkets and stuff. But I ended up bringing the 2 chairs and the tables that I had at the warehouse that were supposed to be for my podcast studio that I was at one point this year planning on doing, which never actually happened because we just got really, really busy. So I ended up bringing up those chairs and that table, which I actually have to spray paint that table because it's gold. And even when I was going to use it for the studio, gold just wasn't going to work. I was going to spray paint it black. So either way, I have to spray paint that black at one point. But I brought that, and then I brought some tables and some chairs from the warehouse, and I put that in my kitchen. And you know what? We fit. We made it work. And I feel that everyone had a good time. I don't really know. I feel that if even people didn't have a good time, they wouldn't tell me. But either way, it worked out. And honestly, I would say that Christmas Adam is probably my favorite part about Christmas. One, because we just love our friends, and our friends have truly just become family to us. Because out here where we live, we don't have family close by, so we don't really get to spend much time with our family. But I think I love it more because there's just not so much quote unquote Christmas pressure. Like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, like if you're going to someone's house or something, it's about like the Christmas spirit and gifts. I think that's the biggest thing, right? It's like if someone invites you over to their house for Christmas, like you better bring them a gift. Like at that point, it just turns into gifts. Like it's all about the gifts. And Christmas, Adam, there's no pressure about gifts. It's really just enjoying each other's time, enjoying some good, having some good fellowship. And that is what I truly love about Christmas, Adam. And I think my husband agrees. I think we both just love Christmas, Adam, because it's a time to like spend time with your friends during the Christmas season, where you get to focus just on that, like where you just get to focus on being together, and all houses are nicely decorated and clean, and you get to enjoy some good food, and then you get to go see some Christmas lights. And it's yeah, Christmas, Adam, is by far my favorite Christmas celebration. But Christmas Eve, I actually ended up waking up sick. So if you hear my voice a little raspy, it's because I'm still dealing with that. Um, but we went to go to the movies with like pretty much a lot of our friends. We like kind of filled up the whole movie theaters. We went to go watch the movie David. And to be honest, it was a wonderful nap. I would not be able to tell you how good or not good the movie was because I fell asleep. One, I don't know. I'm really bad at watching movies. If it doesn't like interest me from the very first like 10 minutes, I'm gonna fall asleep. But two, I was also not feeling good. And, my kids were sitting down and being taken care of. And so I took advantage and took a nap. Yeah, my husband said he wasn't too much of a fan, but there's a lot of singing in it. So, like, that makes sense. He's not a big singing movie kind of guy, but it was the voice of David, and obviously the singing voice was by Phil Wickham, which a great Christian artist. So the music, singing and all that was good, and I think the mom or someone was played by Lauren Dangle too, which is another Christian artist. But either way, yeah, they did cover a lot of First and Second Samuel, from like the time where Samuel anoints David as the new king. David, goes to the Saul and plays music to soothe him, and then David slays Goliath, and then at that point I fell asleep. And then I didn't wake up until everyone was mad at David for not killing Saul in the caves. And then at that point, my son needed to go to the bathroom. And then by the time I came back, everyone was singing because David was going to be king. So, like, whatever happens in between that is where I fell asleep and is what it shows in the movie. But either way, that was fun. And then we went to the warehouse and we did some work. And we took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese on Christmas Eve. Nothing we've never done that before, but I don't even know how it came out. Oh, yes, because at the movie theaters, they have like arcade games, but they're really expensive. So my husband said, like, oh, we'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese, right? And so we finished the warehouse and then we took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese. And honestly, well, maybe I won't spoil the secret, but I will say that Chuck E. Cheese is empty on Christmas Eve. So it was just us and I think like one other family that was there. And we were there like the last like 45 minutes before it closed. And so it was perfect. They were like, you do know it closes at like 5. And we're like, that's great. Like, we don't need to be here any longer than 45 minutes. For whatever reason, Chuck E. Cheese just barely overstimulates me. And I can only be there for like so long. So kids played, we had fun. And then after that, we were like, you know what? Let's go to my mom's house. And so we drove all the way down to my mom's house. We decided to surprise her. We weren't supposed to go down for Christmas Eve. We don't normally go down to anyone's house for Christmas Eve, but we were just kind of like bored. And because I was sick, I didn't really want to go to church, and it was raining. It was raining really bad. I was like, I don't want to go wet and like gross, feeling gross to church. So off we went to my mom's house, which kind of turned out to be a really horrible idea, because it had been raining all day long and the freeway was flooded, like legit flooded. Um, there was horrible traffic. I like recorded videos. Maybe I'll post them on social media, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But Yeah, it was like flooded, but at that point, like we were already in a part of the freeway where like you can't exit and go back, like you're stuck on the 14 until you get to Santa Clarita. So we were like, well, okay, whatever. Like, let's pray that we can make it back home. But luckily, it did stop raining. So by the time we drove back home, it wasn't like flooded anymore. Like everything had kind of subsided or whatnot. But there was mudslides and it was raining. It was flooding, and it was really bad. But my mom enjoyed the surprise of us being there at Christmas or Christmas Eve, and then we opened up a few gifts there. But I told her don't open everything because one, we don't want to drive everything back up, and two, so that the kids can have a little bit more to open up on Christmas morning. But Christmas morning came and we did our tradition of going to El Dorito for their brunch. It's what we do every Christmas morning. It's the first thing we do. And we went, we had some good food. We came home and we opened up some presents. After that, everybody left. We took a nap and then we went to go have Christmas dinner at a friend's house, and it was delicious. She made a ribeye roast with some scalloped potatoes and purple carrots and all the good stuff. And it was just really, really good. So our Christmas was a really good and fun time, and it came and went by really, really fast. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of over Christmas because I just can't stand the clutterness of all the Christmas decorations all over my house. So yesterday I took it all down. It was the 28th of December, and I was like, I am done with Christmas. And we didn't put up our Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving. So actually, not until maybe like December 2nd or 3rd because we were just kind of really busy. So it wasn't even on up for like a whole month, but I was just done and over. I can't, like, it's not dirty, right? Like, but there's just so much stuff and so much clutter. And so I started putting everything down. My husband today will come home and take the Christmas tree out because we have to call the waste management company for them to come pick it up. And yeah, and then Christmas is done at my house because I am done and over, and I'm honestly just ready for the new year. So, speaking of the new year coming 2026, so by the time this airs, I will have been on social media again. The year of 2025, I took a whole 1 year sabbatical off of Instagram. And I did it with the purpose of me thinking that I was too consumed on social media, that I was this like using it too much, that it was becoming like an idol in my life. And so I wanted to see what the Lord would teach me throughout this year when it came to Instagram. And what the Lord taught me was honestly like something that I never truly expected was that Instagram can be used as a tool for his ministry, which is crazy because I never really thought that what I was doing, I never really thought that like me posting on Instagram or even just this podcast is like technically considered a ministry. Um, I always thought like, oh, it's just kind of something that I do on the side, right? Or something that I do for fun because I enjoy doing it. But I never thought of it as like, no, this is a way that I can minister to people. Um, but also this is like a way that maybe some people, it's like the only version of the Bible they ever get. Which I mean, no pressure, right? Like I want to make sure that I'm representing it correctly. But I never really thought about it that way. So it all started back in, I think it was like April, when I was asked to help do the college group Instagram. And I was like, you know what? That's all great, but I can't post, right? Like I can create content for you, um, but I can't go online and post it because that goes against my sabbatical. Like I can, I enjoy making content. I enjoy creating videos and pictures, editing and doing all the captions and all that stuff. Like I truly enjoy doing all of that, but I was like, I can't post for you. So it kind of sort of worked for a little bit. I couldn't really 100% see what was going on. I would like have my sister like, I'd be like, hey, Emily, can you screenshot what the like page looks like so that I can, make sure that the colors coordinate and the pictures this and that and whatever. So I have a lot of screenshots of what people's Instagram accounts look like, but I, I didn't log in. Um, and then came like the summertime, and this was when our business was kind of, started to boom a little bit. And my husband was like, I really need you to like go on and create content for me, right? Like post pictures and edit them and do videos and all that stuff. And I was like, I would love to, but like, can you wait until 2026? Because I don't want to, kind of like stop this sabbatical, right? Especially like when I'm already like halfway done. And then came when I was asked to join the moms ministry at our church, and I was asked like, "Hey, do you think you can help with the Instagram? Although I do know and see that you're on a sabbatical, but like, can you help?" And I said, "Yes, I can help. I can create content for you, but I will not be posting until 2026." And they 100% understood that. And to be honest, it was, yeah, it wasn't until I was asked to do the moms group and I started taking pictures and I started making videos for them that I realized, like, oh, Instagram, sure, has a lot of bad rap, right? It can be bad, but also like it can be good, right? Like, I did Instagram for years, content creating for years, and now those skills that I learned back then are being used for the glory of God. And I know that that sounds weird because you're just like, wait, Instagram for the glory of God, right? But there are ways that you can represent God on Instagram because, unfortunately, in this day and age, there are probably a lot of people that get their Bible source from social media. Like, that is the sad, true reality. There are probably a lot of people who spend a lot of time scrolling and less time in scripture. And if I can help bring more scripture to the scrolling, then I'm gonna do that. And that's just kind of like what I learned was that I can use my Instagram, I can use my podcast as a ministry to be able to speak to other people about the love of Jesus and represent Jesus in the best way that I can. So that is what I learned this year. Is that Instagram is not all that bad. It can be bad. You can waste time on it. Yes, you shouldn't be scrolling more than you should be on scripture, but you can also use it for the glory of God. You can create content that represents Jesus or that represents, your church's love for Jesus, right? Like, I made a video for the moms group, where I was asking all of our mentor moms like questions that young moms want them to know the answers to, right? Like questions, like, what is one piece of advice that a seasoned mother gave you that you used throughout your motherhood journey? I also asked, like, what is the one thing you would do over again during motherhood, right? And those are some tough questions. And I'm sorry for the mentor moms that I literally just went up to them and was like, "Hey, I'm making a video for Instagram. Can I interview you?" And they're like, "Sure. What are you asking?" And I'm like, "Well, you won't know. I'm recording. Okay, here we go." Because I do feel that like you get the most honest answers when you kind of just ask people and you don't like you don't prepare them, if that makes any sense. um but that video turned out so beautifully, right? We had the most raw and honest answers, which like I absolutely loved. Which, starting the next year, I plan on making more videos like that, more videos about questions, and maybe asking the moms like, "Hey, what questions would you want me to ask the mentor moms and stuff?" um and I'm just like, I'm excited for that. Like, now that I am 2 days out of being able to get on Instagram, I am like itching. I am itching to get back on because there's just so many ideas that the Lord has put in my head over how I can use Instagram to glorify him. And I know, again, that's going to sound weird to some people, but just trust me on this, okay? Um so yeah, so I am just like itching to get back on because there's so much content that I want to create for the moms group. There's so much content that I want to create for this podcast. I think that I'm gonna start using my old Instagram that I stopped using, because I want to use that Instagram to represent my new 1 year sabbatical, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. And then just creating content for the business, which I realize that I've been having fun doing that too. So there's just a lot of things. And sometimes the Lord, prepares us in a way to be able to use it for him later. And I truly think that those years that I spent on Instagram trying to learn different ways to edit, different ways to, engage with people, and even like the hardships, because there was a lot of drama that happened on Instagram with like people that I made friends with or people that, weren't so much friends, or, just a lot of things that I learned through social media that have prepared me to be able to do it now. And I'm just so excited to go back. And I'm so excited and I'm just itching. I'm like itching. I am like ready. Like I'm like starting to create content now. I'm like, I am ready to go. I am ready to get started. And I'm ready to represent Jesus on my Instagram page. As crazy as that sounds, but I am. So, Maria, what is going to be your 2026 1 year sabbatical? And I kind of talked about this at the very last episode last year, which, by the way, forgive me again for just kind of putting an end to it. Usually I only take like the last 2 weeks of the year, so like the Christmas week and the New Year's week off, but we were so busy and I just didn't really want to focus on anything else. So yeah, sorry that I kind of just went on a break, but I needed it. And I think that taking a break is good because it helped refresh my mind as to like what I want to do with this podcast moving forward. But my 1 year sabbatical for this coming year, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly the terms and conditions. I've been praying about it. But the main thing is no shopping for myself. I like I have been very convicted this year over how much stuff and junk I just buy. Like because it's on sale or it's cute or I'm bored, let me go to Marshall's, or I'm bored, let me go to TJ Maxx. Like I'm bored, let me just do this and that and this and that. And then I'm like, "Oh, I'll just buy it now." And then it just kind of sits there with the tags on with the intentions of like, "Well, I'll return it later," right? And then I don't end up returning it and then it's just like there. It's like an addiction to the adrenaline of like buying things. And I don't know if like I did it more this year than I've done before. It feels like I did, but I don't know if I did, simply because, I don't know, like I wasn't on social media, but I feel like being on social media made me spend even more money because I would be influenced by these people over like, "Oh, that's a cute skirt. Oh, that's some cute pants. Oh, that's a good like skin product and that and whatever." And then I'd go and end up buying it. So yeah, I've been really convicted about that because I have a closet full of clothes, like full of clothes. Some stuff I don't even wear. Like to be honest, I have a closet full of clothes, but I still end up wearing the same stuff over and over and over again. Like truly, really. um and yeah, it's just it needs to stop because I'm finding, or I'm trying to find joy in just like buying these things, right? Like I said, it's like an addiction, the adrenaline rush that you feel from like just swiping your card and buying, like coming home with a new bag of stuff. Um, and trying to redirect that joy to finding it just in Jesus, really. So, one whole year of not shopping for myself. And so far the terms I have is like no new shoes, no new pants, no new shirts, no new sweater, no new dresses, no new purses, like anything like materialistic. I'm still trying to figure out like how it's going to work like grooming wise, I guess. I do have an appointment to get my hair cut on the 31st, which is funny that like I like was able to like manage to get one right before the new year, because I spent all this last year getting my hair back to blonde, so that I didn't have to keep redoing my roots, because one, I was just tired of it, but two, so that's like less money that I spend on. Yes, I spent a fortune on going back to blonde, but in the long run, it'll prevent me from spending money on redoing my roots every honestly, I was redoing them like every 4 to 5 weeks because I didn't like, because I have naturally blonde hair. So, and I would dye my hair red. So whenever it would like grow out, it just looked like I was going bald. So I'd go crazy. And then I would, redye my roots. So yeah, I was doing that constantly all the time. And I felt that like I was constantly getting haircuts and just cutting my hair shorter and shorter each time and just hating it. Like it wasn't anything to do with like how like my hairstylist was cutting my hair. Like, no, it just, I just hated it. Like, I don't know why I thought that I would look good with like super short hair when like I truly didn't. So, I know I said I'm going to get a haircut on the 31st, but, that's just because my ends are dead. I bleached the crap out of my hair twice this year. And, even though we did do a little bit of a trim, I do feel that I need a little bit more of a trim. So I am going to go a little bit shorter this time to hopefully kind of cut up as much ends as I can. Um, but then after that, I think I'm gonna like not groom my hair for this year. Unless like at one point I feel like I really, really need it. I don't know. I still kind of have to pray about that. But I figured like if I'm not like dyeing my hair, then my hair shouldn't get that damaged, right? And I have all these like I don't know, hair masks and all that stuff, leave-in conditioners that actually have helped my hair a lot. Um, and now I'm finally starting to use a heat protectant. I know I've never used it before, which is terrible. Please don't shoot me. But I'm finally starting to use one now. And I'm learning to take care of myself better, if that makes any sense. I have found really good skincare that I like to use that tends or seems to be working for my skin. And if I'm being honest, I found most of it from the Dollar Tree. It's literally just like the same ingredients that you would find on like more expensive stuff. So yeah, and that stuff has worked for my face. So yeah, but you know, this year because I was trying to find stuff, I bought a bunch of like random products and I just have them all here that I don't even use half of the time. So that's another part of like just my conviction, right? It's like I just kept buying all of this stuff um and that I don't even use. So I did find an app. I don't know what the app is called, but I did find an app to kind of keep track of my spending. Because I do want to see like, you know, even without the like shopping for clothes and shoes and bags and whatnot, like I do want to see how much I'm spending on like skincare and like soap and shampoo and that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, so I just kind of want to keep track for that. So I guess like I'm trying to figure out how it's going to go towards the kids because my kids also like I buy them so much clothes and so much shoes. Although this Christmas they got a ton of shoes, so I think we're set for the rest of next year. Um, but I do know that like kids grow, so like I am gonna have to buy my son and my daughter like new summer clothes when that comes around, and like new winter clothes when that comes around again next year. But I have been saving a lot of the stuff that like I feel will still fit them, even if like things are a little too short. Like if you're just wearing it around the house, like that's fine. I don't care. Um, but I do have like a box of clothes that someone gave my son. So before I go out and just buy things blindly, I'm going to go through that box and see, okay, he already has 3 pairs of shorts and 5 shirts. And, you know, he might need another 3 pairs of shorts and like whatever and whatnot so that I don't overbuy because I feel that I always end up overbuying for my kids. And again, they don't even end up using half of the stuff that I buy. So that is my 1 year sabbatical is just to like one for me completely just X on the shopping. Good, like I have enough socks and underwear and bras. If I, you know, if for some reason this year is the year that all of my bras and my underwear and socks decide to get holes in them, then like I'll buy a new pack. But considering that I've already had them for years and they have yet to get holes in anything, I feel like I will be okay. And if there's a hole, well, whatever, I'll patch it or something. But yeah, my biggest conviction this year was just like how much money I spend on just like useless and dumb stuff. I know. I feel like each year I'm just gonna make my sabbaticals like harder and harder, or maybe not. I don't know. It just kind of depends on where the Lord is leading me. And last year, I truly felt that I was being led towards um, no Instagram, and this year I'm led towards no spending. So we will see how that goes. But I do want to pray. I just want to pray for the new year. Lord, I thank you for the year of 2025 and all of the lessons and all of the trials and all of the blessings for that entire year. Because sometimes when we're in the middle of it, in the good or in the bad, we forget to thank you and we forget to be reminded that everything is to glorify you. So I pray that in 2026, we can see all of the blessings as they're happening and we can thank you right then and there. And we can see all the trials that we're going through and we can thank you right then and there because each trial just brings us closer to you. I just pray that no one forgets how much you love them this year. And I pray that they are reminded that they are with you and that you can bring this enormous amount of peace in whatever it is that 2006 brings for all of us. And I pray this all in your son's name. Amen. Today, I am learning to let go of my need for the adrenaline, my need to just find 5 seconds of joy as I swipe my card, and as I bring a bag of new stuff that honestly is just going to sit there because none of that brings me joy. None of that brings me the surmountable joy that only you can because I am a new creation.